So, how does it feel to be in Philadelphia? Because it's a city with a music history, and you have the Curtis Institute, you have the orchestras, the ballet, the opera. How does it feel to be here?
Well, that's a great feeling to play with your orchestra and with you as well, and it's such a great concerto as Mendelssohn piano concerto, and I feel very very excited actually. Yeah,
Cool.
really, I mean.
Yeah. What did you think of the hall of the Perlman Theater? Did you like the acoustic?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure to play. And actually, you don't really, when the hall is absolutely great and everything is really just ideal and perfect. Well, you don't think about the hall at all because it's just comfortable. It's just great to play. So.
So how was the sound of your piano? I can say your piano because you're always traveling with your particular piano, right? Your Yamaha.
Well, I'm playing this SFX. I mean, it's fantastic piano, really, and it's almost as if it was made for this Mendelssohn concerto because it's absolutely ideal for this concerto. Such lightness and brightness as well, and it just helps me to create that sound that I need for this concert.
What did you help discovering the tempo of the piece? Because Mendelssohn didn't mark any metronome figures. So how did you find this is the tempo?
Well, I guess if you want to say, wow, what a great place here, it comes from your heart. So you don't have to think about tempo. And if you think about tempo, then it's not natural, It has to be completely natural. It has to. I think it's all about finding the right balance and right emotion and right feeling, and then the tempo follows. But certainly, I don't begin by the tempo.
Yeah.
Tempo comes after.
Yeah. What I like about your playing, it's the freedom in rhythm, it's the freedom in concept, it's the freedom in, I mean, you don't stick like to the classical rules where you stick to the tempo.
Because there's no rules, I guess. I mean, I don't know what
there
you're
are no
saying
rules,
about that.
but I really like it very much.
Thank you very much. But I think, music is really, and for me, by itself, it's a freedom of expression. So you should be completely free to express all the palettes and the colors of the emotions and of the expression that you want to tell something. It's like playing a piece of theater, and you have to believe in the piece of theater, and you have to be completely free to express the rage or the happiness or the lightness or the darkness. And if somebody says, well, you have to say this sentence in this tempo, then well, it doesn't make sense because it's like speaking language.
It's very nice that you compare a theater play with a piece of music, because I also think in a piece of music there are a lot of characters, a lot of actors communicating within each other, within a score. Can you tell something about the acting parts in that wonderful first piano concerto?
Yeah, but it's a very interesting remark because I tend to think that it's even more difficult to play music than maybe. I mean, it's also very difficult playing a piece of theater, but in a way that in a concerto, such as Mendelssohn concerto, you're just one person playing so many characters because there is no only one hero, because there are more like I don't know. You can find les petits lutins, how do you say in English? The little creatures, supernatural creatures, and you can have a very grotesque, character as well. And you can have a very light beings, and there are so many. In I think it's a piece that expresses so many supernatural things, unreal things. I don't think that it's a terrestrial music at all because it's there are so many elves as well, and there are so many expressions of nature in this concerto I see, and that's why it's very difficult because you have to be several persons at the same time, and you have to be also instruments, and you have to also have the self-control, and you also have to control your body. It's really amazing job to control.
Great, fantastic. No, I really like your approach, and as a conductor, it's very nice accompanying your interpretation. Although it's not so easy because it's nice what you do, but you have to be awake. I mean, as a conductor, you have to be awake because I like your storytelling, but everybody has to be awake.
Yeah. Such this concerto is so vivid and so exciting music. You know, it's so young and juvenile, but it's a great pleasure to be accompanied by you because you know it's such.
Thank you. Yeah.
You know, you can express and you can be completely. You can use your freedom. You can be completely free. You know, here. So that's the most important, I think. Actually, I'm also very interested to see how your vision, or maybe how you see this concerto. We play together.
As a conductor, it's different, of course, because you always think of the solo part, which is the most important thing, but also of the orchestral part. What is the function of the orchestral part? Is it like an accompanying part, or is it more like a symphonic poem for orchestra, where the orchestra has an important role to play? I think here mostly we accompany, so we repeat some of the principal themes that are orchestrated for chamber orchestra and which go in a conversation with the piano player. So, and this was the concept of the 19th century concerto. I mean, you had everything was focused on the soloist. And if you see Beethoven's concertos, Mozart concertos, early Romantic concertos, 90% of the concertos, it's really focused on the solo instrument, and then the orchestra is accompanying. Although in the Mendelssohn, I have to say that we have an important role to play in order to get you a little bit, the soloist, a little bit in balance, because there is a lot of sustain. There is a lot of things going on in the hidden layers in the orchestration while you play, more than you think. And what I like very much about the orchestration is in the second movement, where
great part.
when we start with the cello solo, it's really fantastic. And then you are accompanying actually the orchestra, so there the roles are just the opposite. The orchestra is playing the principal lines and the principal melodies, and you're just accompanying with floating melodies, tons of notes. It's like dancing elves just going around the cello and the viola solo. It's quite an interesting piece to play as an orchestra as well, and it gives extra power, extra color also. I'm thinking of the little flute intervention, the woodwind interventions, then the drama when we announce the last movement. I really like it very much. There are a lot of colors and a lot of energy, and this is what I like about the tempo you have chosen. It's quite fast, so it's challenging, but at the same time, it's sparkling, and it brings a lot of good, positive.
Absolutely.
Positive. This is a question for you. The other day we had a conversation about when you told me that you were recording yourself. I just have in general. I say this to myself and to a lot of soloists. I think we have to think about fast tempi, because we all tend to play fast movements faster and faster and faster. My question is, it's first of all a question towards myself, but also towards you and all your colleagues. Is the brain of the audience still capable to capture all the information we are sending them to them? In other words, sometimes some musical pieces are played in such a fast tempo that sometimes, as audience members, you can't follow anymore what's going on. What's your concept about that?
Well, the thing is that, of course, if you have pianists playing this very particular concerto, they will follow anyway, because they all know the piece. Or if you're playing for a meloman, who doesn't know this piece, then that's a different question. So it's very difficult to wanting to switch to the audience anyway, because we are not, of course, we play for the public as well, but the most important is to be completely authentic to you.
Of course.
That's the most important.
What does the music to you?
Yeah, and not betraying yourself, but completely be authentic and be honest towards the score as well, which is very, very important. But still be very, very free. And I think, because I don't think music, for instance, for this third movement of Mendelssohn Concerto, of course there are tons of notes. But if you want to follow every note, then the music doesn't make sense anymore because they are big phrases, they're architecture, and they are like if you want to say I don't know if you don't want to say please wait for me because I'm not ready yet. I can say very fast, but if you put an emotion here, even if you don't understand that each syllable, each alphabet, and
I see what you
you
mean.
know,
Yeah.
you will understand because
You will understand the message.
the message
Without
exactly,
hearing the words, you
yeah,
will-
because I think the most important is the meaning and the expression, what you want to tell.
That's a good answer. Yeah, that's an intelligent answer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there are, of course, also very like important notes. I think in a phrasing, you don't have to hear everything, but there are important notes that you have to
To bring out, and
exactly,
underline, and just
yeah.
pay attention to.
I think it's
Yeah.
all about finding the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is also the way how he wrote for the piano. I mean, it's like fluent lines with a lot of. It's like a cascade.
Yeah.
It's like a waterfall sometimes that
Absolutely.
you don't see any individual drop, but you see just the whole water coming down. It's a good phrase. Ichi, we've spent some great days of great music making in Philadelphia. What's your next destination in music?
In music, well, I will be playing Rachmaninoff No. 2 concerto in Brazil and Argentina with the NDR Symphony Orchestra, and the Liszt concerto in Korea with the conductor Song Si-yeon. She's a woman conductor. I like her very much.
Wow,
And
2 women on stage.
yeah,
Will be fire.
Yeah, Liszt No. 1, and then
Yeah.
we will be playing Prokofiev No. I will be playing the Prokofiev No. 3
Wonderful.
with the conductor James Judd with KBS Symphony Orchestra, and I have Rachmaninoff No. 3 with a woman conductor as well
Again.
in Korea.
Wow.
Yeah, and and then I have to play Mozart Concerto No. 23 in Moscow with Moscow Virtuosi.
Wow, and this
Orchestra.
is all within a month or so? 2 months.
2 to 3 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
busy schedule.
Yeah. Well, it's a musical paradise, It's,
Yeah.
I have so many concertos to work on.
Fantastic.
I really prefer that than having, like only
Yeah.
2 concertos a year.
So with such a hectic schedule, you will not be able to come back to Philadelphia.
I would be honored to come back, of course. And what are your future plans for you?
Well, I'm dividing my time between conducting and writing.
Yeah.
I'm writing a guitar concerto and a cello concerto at
Great.
the moment, so that will be premiered in 2014. So I better hurry up. And I have, the regular concerts as music director in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I do my regular concerts here. Have a lot of concerts in Europe. I'm going to China. I'm going to Asia with different programs. So
Do you like going
quite-
in Asia? You like going in China, in
I
Japan?
like going in Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, but it's been a while now, and China also. Yeah, I will be conducting the Vier letzte Lieder by Richard Strauss with the opera orchestra in Shanghai and with the Chinese singer Kilian Chin. So I'm really looking forward to that. So a busy schedule for the next 2-3 years. But I'm sure we'll meet again on stage and we'll make music again in the future.
With pleasure.
I wish you all good luck.
Thank you very much.